And then there's Cam Newton re-signing in New England. I will sit here and say this. The options are what? Mariota. The options are Alex Smith, who I like very much. You didn't, Chris. You weren't really into that. The options are who else? They're not in the Deshaun Watson running. They're not going to be in the Russell Wilson running if there is any running on all of that. And the Deshaun Watson running seems to be off and running once again because David Culley said that Watson is their starter right now, using the right now, another version of the for now that Les Snead used in reference to Jared Goff before they traded him. Jim Trotter was the member of the NFL media group, along with our buddy Steve Weich on their Huddle and Flow podcast, who elicited that answer from David Culley on their podcast just yesterday. Jim's going to be on in hour number 3. But New England's not in the running for any of those quarterbacks. Not at all. They apparently kicked the tires on Stafford, and Stafford's like, nah, that doesn't suit me. And you can understand why from various reasons, to the fact that the coach who it didn't work out with in Detroit is now back in the fold in New England, and Matt Patricia. Cam knows the system. It's now year 2 in the system. Let's get him some weapons. How about that? Let's get him some weapons. Let's get him somebody other than Edelman when he's healthy and not holding Shabbat dinners. Let's get him out there, and let's get other people out there for him and see what can happen. I understand where they're going on this. I, however, turn it over to you, Chris. You're the Patriot fan here. Brady's now re-signed till he's a 45-year-old.
Which I think we expected, right?
We did expect that. Yeah. Jason Light said as much that was in the works when he was on this program, the general manager of the Bucs, just a couple of weeks ago. But what do you think about Cam being your quarterback, outside of the fact that I'm pleased about it because this means you have several months to get your apparel ready to dress like him after every Patriot win?
Are we sure that Cam's going to be the starter?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not that excited about it. If you look at pre-COVID Cam, that was pretty exciting last year. It did look like maybe 80% of his old self. But then we saw how the season ended. He really couldn't throw a football. Looked like he had trouble processing at the line of scrimmage. I think we're going to get more of the same. I just wonder what the end game is here. It's definitely only for 1 year, which I'm kind of shocked that Bill isn't looking more over the steering wheel. I was hoping that we kind of New England drafted a young guy. And
you could still do that. This does not preclude that.
Yes, it does not. However, it does preclude the drafting and throwing into the fire, which is what I was kind of hoping for. If you draft a guy, bringing Cam back, it doesn't seem like they're going to draft a guy in the first round. It's probably going to be a second rounder, which now puts you in the Kyle Trask, Sam Ehlinger kind of section of the department store, which isn't that exciting, even though I think they could be solid players. However, bringing Cam in, and if he's the starter, if he goes 2-5, then what do you do? Now you're throwing the kid in there that you drafted anyway.
But
why not trade up in the first round, use all of these assets that you have, and go get someone that can start on day one?
Because I don't think that that's the way that New England usually does that. Unless, hold on a second, what if you draft somebody and a New York Jet linebacker blows Cam up, and that guy comes in and starts a 20-year dynasty? I mean, it can't happen like that all the time.
No,
that's why I said to you,
Tom Brady is a 1-1 scenario, and the fact that New England fans and the organization had 20 years of this guy is the greatest blessing maybe in sports. So now you have to operate like everyone else now,
right?
So, and it's draft a guy, go up and get the guy you want, even if it's Mitch Trubisky going up, and trading up a couple slots to go get him. You're making moves that excites the fan base. Bringing back Cam Newton, with all due respect to Cam, as much as I really like him, it doesn't excite the fan base.
Well, guess what? I think Cam coming in, having the full offseason, Cam coming in, being healthy, Cam coming in, being bestowed as the man by Belichick, I think you're going to see a much better result than you did in the final half of the season. Now, the question is who are the weapons? Get him somebody to throw the ball to, man.
Yeah. I mean, if they go out and spend money and get Kenny Golladay or Will Fuller, then maybe I might have a different attitude a month from now.
And then they use in the draft maybe somebody to go and be the man to learn by Cam's side. Belichick does not strike me, and the Patriots do not strike me as let's go get this kid and start sink or swimming with him in day one. I don't think they want to do that. And I think they've got in Cam Newton somebody who could be, if the first 4 games of the Cam world show up next season, that's better off than, I think, another option. There's still an upside with him that wouldn't be there with Alex Smith or with Mariota, because it's still Cam Newton. And I would love to see more weapons around him, that you can't just, with all due respect, David Patton this thing together.
No, absolutely not.
Those days are gone, because the guy who made that work just got signed to a contract extension to be a 45-year quarterback.
And one ring number 7.
Right. So you've got to, maybe that's the way you could recalibrate. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.